keep it 100 because it's time for Hub's Huddle Podcast. Listen to the man that talks sports from football to basketball 24/7, 365. He is known as the average Joe that knows more than average about sports.
What's up, man?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Hub.
What's up, everybody? Man, it's Sunday morning, January 20th, 2019, man, and it is Championship Sunday. We got two great games that's going to go down today. Matchups are just awesome. You got the Rams and the Saints, in the first game at 3:05 in New Orleans. Then you got the late game, which is the New England Patriots taking on the Kansas City Chiefs, at 6:40. But first and foremost, man, let me get into that fight from last night. Manny Pacquiao and Adrien Broner. Man, listen. Manny Pacquiao put hands on Broner last night. And the thing is, man, is that, Adrien Broner, he had a chance to win this fight all throughout. He just never let his hands go. And for him to come out at the end of the fight and say, he was robbed and, he won the fight, he had controlled the fight, man, that boy's a lie. I don't know what fight he was in, what fight he was, was he thinking about? If his cornerman was telling him that he was winning the fight, I don't know what fight they were watching. But Adrien Broner never let his hands go. Manny Pacquiao controlled the fight throughout. He threw the most punches. He landed the most. It was just, it wasn't a vintage Manny Pacquiao performance, but it was a good enough performance to beat Adrien Broner. And I know after the fight they were asking, Pacquiao, about Floyd, and Floyd said if he was willing to come back to boxing, let's do it. They put the camera on Floyd, and Floyd basically didn't even look at the camera. Like I said, man, I never thought that this second fight would happen between Pacquiao and Mayweather. I mean, only way I see it happen if it's just like a crazy amount of money to be made. But the way that Manny Pacquiao looked, like last night, I just don't think the money's going to be there unless it's going to be somebody that's just really want to see this fight happen and they're willing to put up a lot of money. Because Manny Pacquiao, he did not look like, a vintage Manny Pacquiao. He looked like an old Manny Pacquiao last night. That's what I'm saying. Like Adrien Broner, he had plenty of opportunity to come in there, and win the fight. He just never took it. He never let his hands go. He was hitting him once and he was just moving around. He later in the rounds, he started dancing around like, he had the rounds in the bag. Like, he didn't have to fight. And this is what, spelled the end for him. He got rocked a couple times by Pacquiao. He did catch Pacquiao at the end of one of the rounds, like a smooth uppercut that was there for him all night, and he never took it. Manny Pacquiao, his weakness is a counterpuncher, and Adrien Broner is a counterpuncher. He just never, he would throw like one punch and then just like stop. Like he would never like follow up, a combination or anything. So, Manny Pacquiao won that fight. I know he said if, the Mayweather fight does not come through, he's willing to fight the winner of Mikey Garcia and Errol Spence that's coming up in March. I really don't think, that Manny Pacquiao wants no part of that. I mean, especially if it's Errol Spence coming out of there, that guy's too big in that welterweight division. And I think that'll be a difficult task for Manny Pacquiao. The same thing with I think the Mikey Garcia will be a better fight as far as styles go, but I think Mikey Garcia, with that youth, and he's not afraid to let his hands go, really put the business on Manny Pacquiao at this stage in Manny Pacquiao's career. But that's enough about that, man. Moving on, talking about this Championship Sunday, this is why we're all tuning in. Here's the big one, man. This is for your chance to go to, Super Bowl 53 in Atlanta. So first up, we got the LA Rams. We taking on the New Orleans Saints in New Orleans for the NFC Championship. You got Todd Gurley and C.J. Anderson versus the Saints number 2 run defense. I gotta say C.J. Anderson, man, because he ran all over the Cowboys last week. So we'll see how they're gonna utilize him, in this game right here. I think this is gonna be a good game, man. I think you got the Rams defense gonna have to just show up today. This is why all that money was spent on defense. Between Aaron Donald, Sue, Peters. Talib. You know, this right here is where, you know, the money was spent. You know, in the rankings, you know, the Rams defense was ranked 19th in the league. Got the Saints ranked at 14th. You know, this right here, man, they got the number 2 offense in the Rams. Of course, Kansas City, the number 1 offense, going up against the number 8 offense in New Orleans. These dudes, man, are 3rd in rushing, you know what the Rams are, and the Saints are 6th in rushing. The Rams are 5th in passing, and the Saints are 12th in passing. You know, I think it's gonna be a good game, man. The last time they met was on November 4th of this past year. You know, the score was you know, the Saints won by 10, 45-35. You know, I could swear I had that game right. You know, let's look at the defenses, man. You break it down. You know, if you look at everything, the rushing yards allowed for LA, you know, was 122.3. The Saints allow only 80.2 yards. So this is going to be key for the Saints, you know, to contain that rushing attack of Todd Gurley and, you know, and CJ and Anderson. You know, points allowed, you know, they're about the same. You know, the Saints, you know, they only allow 22.1 points per game, and the Rams are only allowing 24 points. You know, in the passing, you know, yards allowed. You know, the Saints, you know, they allow way more passing yards. You know, a little bit, maybe like 30 more yards per game than what the Rams do at 268. At the Rams, you know, they only allow 238. So, you know, that secondary for the Rams is going to come alive. You know, it should be a great, you know, like chess match. I think it's going to be still more points put up on the score board. I think it's going to be, you know, up in the high 30s. I'm thinking it's going to be more like a 38-35. I just got to go with the home team, man. I just think it's real rough, you know, to come into New Orleans and, you know, and win. So I'm going to pick the Saints in this one, score of 38-35. I just think Drew Brees, that offense, you know, Kamara, Ingram, you know, Michael Thomas, you know, I think they're going to be just a little bit too much for the Rams, you know, defense. And, you know, as far as the other side, man, I know, you know, like Jared Goff, you know, he balled out all year, but like I said, he hasn't been the same since Cooper Kupp went down. You know, you still got Brandon Cooks over there. You got Robert Woods, who's basically like the number 1 right now. You know, balling out for them as well. But, you know, I just think New Orleans, you know, in New Orleans, if this was like a neutral site, man, I would give the edge to the Rams. But in New Orleans, man, it's tough, man. You seen it last week with Philadelphia. You know, a heartbreaking loss for them last week. And, you know, man, New Orleans at home, you know, in the Dome, you know, Mercedes-Benz. I think they get the job done, man, and they go back to the Super Bowl. You know, they get Drew Brees back, you know, to the Super Bowl and try to win himself his second ring. Next up, you got the New England Patriots traveling to Arrowhead, you know, to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Man, this one right here, man. Listen, this is Kansas City's first time hosting the conference championship in the Super Bowl era. As you know, Lamar Hunt Trophy is named after, you know, the original Chiefs owner back in the day, you know, Mr. Lamar Hunt. This right here, man, this is going to be, you know, I think it's going to be a good game. You know, that first meeting was on October 14th of 2018. You know, the Patriots squeaked by with a 3-point win. It was 43-40. I don't see it being a high-scoring game in this one. I think it's going to be more lower, more like in the 20s. But this right here is going to be good, man. You know, the keys for, you know, Kansas City, you know, they have to pressure Brady. They got to put, you know, pressure back there on him, you know, make him uncomfortable. You know, I don't think, you know, like Rob, we haven't really seen a big game from Rob Gronkowski. So I don't, you know, I know Eric Berry's playing, and, you know, he'll be, you know, possibly be covering, you know, Rob Gronkowski. You know, the previous time that they played against each other, and, you know, when Eric Berry played, he basically shut down Gronk. You know, the Patriots, man, their last 3 AFC championship games on the road, they're 0-3. You know, Tom Brady, you know, he had 3 touchdowns and three interceptions, you know, in his last 3, you know, AFC championship road games. So, I mean, it's a lot of history that's stacked up against them, you know, as far as like everything else, everybody's probably still doubting. You know, Julian Edelman had a little, you know, all week has basically been saying just to bet against us. You know, and I think this New England team is coming in motivated. But like I said, it's gonna be rough, man, against this Kansas City Chiefs team, man. You know, Patrick Mahomes is on fire. You know, he threw for about like 50 touchdowns this year in the regular season. You know, joining Peyton and Brady in that club right there. Like I said, you know, the Chiefs defense is going to have to put pressure on Tom Brady. They're going to press on these receivers, on Julian Edelman, Chris Hogan, you know, Philip Dorsett, and also Rob Gronkowski. They must, you know, stop the run. You know, the Chiefs have you know, they're ranked 16th in running defense. You know, they're going to come alive today, man. If not, man, you're going to get a heavy dose of Sony Michel, Rex Burkhead, and James White coming out of the backfield. You know, they're passing. You know, they're no, in fact, their Russian the Russian offense is ranked 16th. I'm sorry. Their Russian defense, man, they you know, they give up 132 yards per game. You know, this is going to be, you know, very, very key for New England. You know, New England's going to have to, you know, establish the run and also control the clock with the run game. You know, it's going to be very big for them to do that. You know, in this game right here, you know, I just think, you know, it's going to be a good game. You know, the passing yards allowed, you know, the Chiefs give up 273 yards, and New England gives up 246. New England gives up, you know, 112 rushing yards. So I think it's gonna be like, you know, back and forth game up and down the field. It's gonna be whoever controls the clock the most and also play sound fundamental football. I know Arrowhead's gonna be rocking, you know, with both you know, with the crowd. And I see, man, I just got a, you know, like a weird feeling. Like, I know I'm a New England fan, but I just got a weird feeling about today, about New England going in there and making a statement and winning. It's not just me being a fan. It's just that, you know, everybody is just basically like counting them out and basically, you know, they're putting it in. You know, this is Andy Reid's year. This is the year, you know, the Patriots get dethroned, and, you know, Brady's 0-3 on the road in the AFC Championship games. You know, something's going to have to break today, man. And I think New England's going to eke it out, man. I think they're going to get like a three-point win. I see them winning like a 27-24 type of game up there in Arrowhead. I just, you know, like I said, like my pick originally was, you know, Saints and Patriots in the Super Bowl. So I got to rock out with it, man. I think, you know, Rob Gronkowski is going to show up today. He's going to show up and show out. I think, you know, he's been saving it for all year. Tom Brady's been looking phenomenal last week against the Chargers. You know, basically, you know, he was flawless last week against the Chargers. This right here, man, this New England defense, this has to fall on y'all today. You guys got to contain, you know, Patrick Mahomes. You know, you guys got to limit, you know, Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. You know, it's no Kareem Hunt this time. Normally Kareem Hunt, if he was playing, you know, Kareem Hunt has owned the Patriots in both of the meetings. This right here, man, you know, they have to play smart fundamental football, and they have to be patient, because, you know, when you're playing against a quarterback like a Patrick Mahomes who likes to gunsling, man, them balls are going to be there for you to pick them off. You know, you just have to read him, and you have to be patient in back there in the secondary, and you cannot bite. You know, like I said, I give it New England 27-24, and this sets up, you know, our Super Bowl as being New Orleans versus New England in the Super Bowl. You know, the old heads at quarterback, you know, Tom Brady versus Drew Brees, a 40 and over club. You know, hey, man, listen, 20 is the new 40 is the new 20, man. So especially in the NFL, man, that's you know, it's gonna be a great, you know, it's gonna be two great games coming on today. These are my picks for this championship Sunday. Hope you all, you know, enjoy these games today, starting at 3:05 with the Rams and the Saints. So until next time, man, I'll be back tomorrow to give my breakdown and set us up for the Super Bowl coming up, you know, in February, the first Sunday in February. So until next time, man, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for for subscribing. You know, welcome all my new listeners, man, across the globe, man. I really appreciate you guys listening and tuning in, and all my current listeners. I got some faithful listeners, man. I've been looking at my stats, man. There's people like in Virginia, you know, it's really been hanging tough with me. You know, I really appreciate you guys. You know, Pennsylvania, you know, hey, man, stand up. I know a lot of you guys probably from Chester, where I'm originally from. So, you know, man, thank you all for your support. Delaware, of course, you know, hey, you rocking out with me too as well. You know, California, you know, I got a lot of people across, you know, the country that's, you know, that's rocking out with me. Even got Washington, state of Washington. You know, it's pretty cool, man. You know, and across the globe too, man, in different countries, man. You know, I got Ireland and the UK, you know, just to name a few. I really appreciate you guys for listening and tuning into my podcast every week. Like I said, man, this right here is for us, the fans, man. I'm trying to us together, you know, we're going to change up this sports talk game, and we're going to take it to the next level. You know, I'm trying to give you guys, you know, raw and uncut, man, you know, straight from a fan's perspective on how these things go down. You know, also, before I get going, man, you know, a few back when Patriots and the Kansas City Chiefs played, you know, after that game, you know, Stephen A. Smith said if the game was in Arrowhead, you know, Kansas City would win straight up. You know what, man? I tried to challenge that man. Told him, you know what, you know, if, you know, New England, you know, goes to Arrowhead and beats Kansas City, you gotta get me on the show, man, so I can tell you that you're absolutely wrong, you know, or you can come on my podcast as a special guest. You know, I haven't had any, you know, response from him, so of course, you know, after this game today, if New England pulls it out, I'm going to be on them, y'all. So, you know, I'm gonna be posting my tweets and everything. I'm gonna post my original tweet as well. So, you know, we're gonna see how all this stuff folds out today. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be exciting, you know, starting at 3:05 between the Saints and the Rams. Once again, man, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for joining. I really appreciate you guys. You and guys enjoy this championship Sunday. Until next time, man, it's your boy Hub, and I'm signing out. Peace.